Today's video is presented by the EA Game Changers Network.
G'day guys, how's it going? It is JarradHD here. A bit of a different setting, but I am currently in Cologne, Germany for Gamescom. Now, apologies in advance if the audio is terrible. I'm in my hotel room, but there's no carpet on the floorboards, and after talking, I've been able to tell it's a little bit echoey. But regardless, today is a very, very exciting day because I have had the opportunity to play FIFA 20 career mode and record it for you guys for about 3 hours this morning. Gonna get to do it again tomorrow and on Thursday. So altogether, by the end of the week, we'll have played about 9 hours of FIFA 20 career mode. And I thought, why not give you guys my opinion and my thoughts on what I've learned so far after playing FIFA 20 career mode. Also, happy to let you know that probably tomorrow I will have my first ever FIFA 20 rebuild on the channel. I've recorded it, just got to edit it and get it up to you guys. And using that rebuild has helped me get the knowledge for today's video, so that's all coming out of from context from the rebuild recording. But anyways, I've got some notes written here on the side, so if you see me looking over, that's because I've written down some dot points and I want to talk about what I have learned in FIFA 20 career mode. So the first thing I learned in FIFA 20 career mode, and I think this is probably the most important thing that I learned, is that morale is key. So of course, one of the new features this year in FIFA 20 career mode was the addition of player morale. And I'll tell you what, it can either make or break your career mode series. So for me, I was simulating through the calendar in the rebuild that I did because I wanted to go from the start of the Champions League group stages to the 1st of January to save time and to see how we did. Our League and Champions League results were very, very impressive. But for some reason, I had a 65 manager rating. And that was because of player morale. By simulating through about 3.5 months, I missed all of these player conversations, I missed all of these press conferences, and because of that, players, their morale took a massive dip, and so did my managerial rating. Also, a big thing I noticed through player morale is players were requesting to get transfer requested left, right, and center. And ultimately, they got transfer listed by the club, and I couldn't take them off the transfer list. I tried offering them a new contract. They weren't having any of it. Like, if you don't manage player morale, you're gonna lose your best players, and you're gonna suffer for it. You probably will end up losing your job. I think the only thing that saved me from getting sacked in that first season was how good I was performing on the pitch, because imagine if you had terrible player morale and you were finishing bottom of the league, you'd be gone so quick. Which, to be fair, is realistic. If a manager in real life loses the dressing room and is losing on the pitch, they're done for. So I think it's definitely a very good addition to the game, but it's something, if you're playing career mode, you have to watch like an absolute hawk. If you can manage it, then you're gonna be cheering. Your players are gonna have so many boosts, they're gonna grow, everything's gonna be beautiful. But if you don't, you're going to be in big strife. I also noticed through the dynamic player potential and morale that it really affected a player's rating. So a big name player who I'm not going to say because it will probably give away the rebuild, but the biggest player we signed in the rebuild was unhappy and was not playing well. I wasn't answering him in the player conversations tab, and he really suffered for it. He's an aging player. He went down 2 overall, whereas Luka Modric was playing brilliantly, wasn't asking me any questions, so I didn't have any opportunity to make it go down, but he was performing really well on the pitch, and he stayed at his original base rating, which is pretty good for a 34-year-old. So again, when you're trying to manage these older players and trying to keep them relevant for as long as possible, you need to make sure that you are just kissing their ass. Like, my biggest piece of advice is to kiss absolute ass with every player in your squad to keep them happy. Moving on though, and something I found a little bit small but quite nice is the stories tab. So you know, the news tab where they talk about players that are doing shit, transfer rumors, all this stuff. That was nice. So for example, Sergio Ramos was unhappy because I didn't manage his player morale, but Arsenal were a club that were linked with a move for him. In the news tab, they had the article saying, oh, wayward star linked with a move to Arsenal. And they had Sergio Ramos in the Arsenal kit. I had to take a double take because I thought, holy crap, have I accidentally sold Sergio Ramos to Arsenal, or has the board sold Sergio Ramos to Arsenal? But no, it was just the news tab making a cool little adjustment and saying, what if? It's like Photoshop in FIFA. So that was a tiny thing, but I really enjoyed it. It was a nice little touch. Is it going to continue to surprise me in 6 months, even 3 months? I don't know, but first day, it was cool. I also noticed that a lot of the stories weren't just your generic, like, this guy needs a goal. They had a new cutscene or a new player sort of news story where the player was getting interviewed. It had the backdrop for the Champions League. It had cool little different cutscenes, so I thought that was nice. Again, not a huge change, but a nice little touch. Manager customization is awesome. I need to talk to you guys because I want us to make sure that Mr. Rebuild for the rebuilds in FIFA 20 has the coolest look, because there are so many different things you can do. You can get all these different hats, hairstyles, literally every aspect of changing the look has pages upon pages upon pages of customization features. So I am very excited to see how the manager customization goes. I don't think you'll ever get bored of it because there's so many different aspects. Again, it's only a aesthetic change, but it looks nice. So dynamic potential, in my opinion, is a game changer. I said it before the game was released, but like last week before I got my hands on FIFA Career Mode this year, I thought dynamic potential was going to be huge. It was. Now in the beta, there was reports of players going up and down, like going from 0 to 99. That has been fixed. It is fixed completely now, I believe completely. And players, if you play them, will grow or continue to develop. If you don't, they'll go down the shitter. If you have a really young player, like I was using Real Madrid, I had Vinicius Jr., he wasn't getting any game time, and he wasn't growing, which I think is awesome. If you didn't play him and just had him rotting in the reserves in FIFA 19, he'd still reach his 90 potential. But I feel like this year, if you do not play him, maybe he'll reach 81, 82, maybe he'll go down. I'm very excited for dynamic potential this year. Only got a little touch with it, but I think it is a massive game changer. Now for something that really frustrated me with FIFA 20 so far, the simulation system. So if you watch my rebuilds, a big part of them is when we're in the knockout rounds of the Champions League and we're watching the simulation. Now, in FIFA 20, you don't get to see a play-by-play unfolding, which I hate it. It automatically skips to the 90th minute. It goes, like, let's say I'm Real Madrid, I'm taking on Cologne, because I'm in Cologne. Whatever team. You go, load up the game, it'll show the first minute, and then it'll automatically, without you touching it, go to the 90th minute. I really loved, in previous FIFAs, being able to unfold and be like, okay, we scored a goal, let's go, we conceded, there's a red card, watching it happen in the moment, in the real time. Now it automatically goes to the 90th minute. I am going to be bringing that up with the developers when I see them either tonight or throughout the rest of the week. That really is a big loss. It's something they're going to have to rectify because that's annoying. It's the small things that I love, and the simulation system not good this year in terms of that, in terms of the atmosphere and the theater of the whole simulation process. So that's frustrating. Hopefully though, I can say something to the devs and get their attention on it that I don't like that. Because if you want to simulate the games, you can just press Y or you can press triangle and do that exact same thing. So I don't understand why they've taken the ability to watch it unfold play by play out. That's annoying. But also a good thing with the simulations, they are definitely more realistic. In FIFA 19, if you had an away game, that was basically a death sentence. Even if you had a full team of 99s and you were taking on the lowest rated team, you'd probably still be likely to drop points if you were away. I had a few moments against teams that were a little bit worse than us, but we had the away game and we won in comfortable style, like a side like Real Madrid and the side that I had built in that rebuild had done. So the simulation seems to be a little bit more realistic, which I'm excited for. A lot of little in-depth things were nice as well. A small one that I noticed, Simeone, the Atletico Madrid manager, had his all black suit on. He has that in real life, he had it in FIFA. That was cool. Guardiola had his all grey suit on. Again, it's a minor aesthetic thing, but I liked it. And another aesthetic thing that I really liked is the new UI interfaces. So they announced that the Bundesliga, the Premier League, La Liga, the Champions League, and the Europa League, and the MLS and Ligue 1 all have their own UI interfaces for the menus. They're nice. They're really nice. The Premier League's like a blue and purple one. La Liga is, I don't even know what color you describe it. It's like a grey and green sort of colour with white text, all transparent white text. It's very nice. The Champions League one, it's not as dark as last year, which I think is nice. It's a lot more light blue, which is beautiful to see. Again, a small little thing, but I really liked it. And then the final thing I want to touch on is player conversations. So when player conversations between you and the players were announced at the start of FIFA 20 in the pitch notes, I thought, okay, this is cool, but is it just going to be generic? Is it going to be boring? Is it going to be out of the blue? Like when you have a youth player coming to you and saying, I want more game time, and he's 60 rated in a 90 rated team. This year the questions actually applied to things that you did. For example, I transfer listed Gareth Bale in this rebuild. Immediately he came to me saying, boss, why have you transfer listed me? And the response I got was something like, we need more money, it's nothing personal, we need more money, you don't fit in this squad anymore. And there was another one, I think it was like, you're not good enough for this team, something like that. I can't remember which one that was, but it gave you more distinguishable options, and they weren't just cookie cutter responses. They actually were responses you would expect to happen in real life. So from that aspect, I really liked player conversations, and they really were influential on the outcome of the career mode. But again, I don't see any reason why you would tell a player like negative things, because you just keep boosting their morale and it doesn't really affect it. So I'm interested to see how that plays out over the long term. But there it is, my initial thoughts and what I've learned in FIFA 20 career mode. Very excited to keep playing the game mode over the next few days and then get our hands on it next month when FIFA 20 drops. But like I said, I will have a lot of FIFA 20 career mode content out for you guys across the next week or two, so make sure you turn on notifications and hit that subscribe button down below. Don't just hit it, bloody scorpion kick that subscribe button down below if you are new around here. I should have a rebuild up either tomorrow or the day after for FIFA 20, but it has been JarradHD here. I'm out. Peace.